Yes, for those that you are joining us in Facebook, and you can definitely join us right here. We have about 10 to 15 minutes of the session. Then after that, if you are very occupied right now, you can watch the replay. And remember, go to the link above. Yes, above. Yes, at this live there. Click the link. Get the free PDF download that we prepare for you for today's book. Today, we are going to share with you the book that I used 2 years to finish it. Really, I used 2 years to finish this book. So let's start a little bit on this. Chat a little bit about why we read. Can we start with you, Gideon? Why you read?
Okay, yeah. I think today I want to talk about why I read for a non-fiction book. Maybe we can talk about non-fiction next other session. So I just want to talk about why I read non-fiction book. For me, there are actually two reasons. The first reason is I think book is the easiest way and quickest way to go into one person's brain. A lot of authors, they spend years or even their lifetime to write a book. So I think book is the fastest way that you can get to know what the person knowledge is and what they want to share with you. I think this is the easiest way. The second reason for me is I think the book also is the most cost-effective way to learn about something, because some of the author may no longer with us. So example, Dale Carnegie book. So Dale Carnegie is no longer with us. So if we want to know his knowledge, we have to read his books. And also, if the author is still alive, I would prefer to go to his seminar if I have a chance. But if you think it's too expensive, you can always read his book. Like Tony Robbins, I know Joyce and myself are Tony Robbins top fans, right? So we read all his book. But if we have the chance to attend his seminar, we should go. I think Joyce and myself, we go to his UPW, Unleash Your Power Within, years ago. So if you have the chance and you think that you can afford, I prefer you just watch, go to the live seminar, or workshop. How about you, Joyce?
Yeah, I think you carry out one very important point is we actually can go to the mind of someone that is no longer in this planet Earth, right? Like those author already passed away, and the book is their legacy. So I think it's no longer we can meet them face to face. So it's really, really important we can read out the books that they wrote so that we can pick up the most important lesson that they want to pass to us. So I started to have the reading habits about 16 years ago. It is my habit, every single day. The reason why I read the non-fiction book is because I want to grow myself. I want to learn the skill, the knowledge, so that I can use it in my daily life. That's one very important part of that. Knowing that, keep growing. If not, we're going to die. Keep growing or else we will be dying. So I want to keep growing myself. So every single day, it is become the habit. So like 5 minutes, if I really, really tie up in my time. So if it is, I have more time, maybe half an hour every single day for the past 16 years. This never stopped until today. So the growing part is my main thing why I read. That's why, yeah.
Yeah, I
So
always hear you say grow or die, right? Yeah.
okay, so let's go to the book today that we want to talk about.
Yeah, today book is actually very special. A lot of people, if you go online and search, what is the most influence book to you, or what is the top 10 book in your life, a lot of people will mention this book. So this is actually a very special book. So this is the book called Man's Search for Meanings by Viktor Frankl. So what is so great about this book? If you always heard people mention about this book. So this book actually is a memoir, self-help, even a psychology manual. So it was published in 1959. So the big idea actually about this book is you can find meanings in whatever situation or suffering that you have. So this book actually they have two parts. So the first part, the part one, is actually talking about how Viktor Frankl spent his 3 years in Auschwitz and other death camp during the World War II. So he talked about how his experience. So a lot of things about the brutality that the prisoner have experienced. I remember a lot about one of them called naked existence in this book. So naked existence is meaning that the prisoners, they are stripped from head to toes. They are shaved from head to toe, and everything that you possess are taken away from you. And he also talked about the prisoner going through 3 stages. The first stages being you are in a shock. The second stages is you are emotional death, meaning that you don't feel emotional on yourself and also to other people. The third stage is you feel depersonalized, meaning that the feeling that you have seems like don't belong to you. So from what I mentioned, this part one actually about 60 pages. This is very thin book actually, but this is a very painful read for me. I also spent, I think, a few weeks to just finish the part one. So Joyce, I know you have a very unique experience reading this book. Maybe you can share.
You use a few weeks to finish a book. I used 2 years. Oh my goodness. 2 years to finish a book. Can you imagine that? The reason is from Gideon's description that you can literally feel how painful it is to read the book. You know, when I read the book, every time I read a book, every time I cry. So that's the reason why it really slowed down for me to read this book. I found one thing is every time describe himself what happened in the Nazi concentration camp. It is so the suffering that they go through over there, it is so painful. So every time, a single time, I wonder how on earth in this world that we can have such a brutality or suffering that can happen to a human mankind or just a living people living life. So I choose to do something like this. So I'll only read a book when I'm in hospital. So 2 years from now, it's like 2018. It's my time, the time my dad he had a stroke. So practically, we spent a large amount of time staying in the hospital together with him. So this book have been together with me that time, reading it page by page. Then let me feel that it is not so, I know that this is a suffering process because if you all may have some experience when your family members is in this sudden emergency medical condition, it can be very, shock or hard to deal with. So mentally, we got to prepare ourselves a lot of things. Then this book really accompanied me along the journey. So, and also I finished reading this book in front of the operation theater last year. Last year, November, my mom is admitted to hospital for operation. So in front of the operation theater, 5 hours, it is not a short time. So this book, I finished in front of the operation theater to, read page by page until the end of it. Really helped me to ground myself, not so, how to handle this unavoidable suffering. So I think, Gideon, you have some experience to share about part two of this book because this book practically there is two part.
Yeah,
First part is
yeah.
more to his experience in the concentration camp, okay, and the second part is more to um, the meaning that he's searching. So maybe Gideon, you want to share?
Yeah, the part two actually is talking about the theory that Frankl create called logo therapy, which in Greek meanings So it means that it means that in life, you are not, the meaning of life is not to seek pleasure. Okay, I think a lot of people they read from Freud, the greatest psychologist, that life is seeking pleasure, but to Frankl, life is not seeking pleasure, but to find and to pursue the meanings of your life. You know, so what he meant is, you know, we can, what Frankl means is we cannot avoid suffering, but we can find meanings in the suffering, cope with it, and move forwards. So I think this is very relevant, especially nowadays. I know a lot of people have different kind of suffering, relationship, financial, your work, or other things. But I think this book really give me the drive to find meanings in everything that you are having. So yeah, Joyce.
You see how sense how would I say, every time both of us, when we talk about this book, we kind of have a very very how would I say, it's like inner tension inside us.
Yeah.
You know, it is not easy for us to talk about this book either. So I really hope that you can go to the link, get the PDF summary that we prepare for you. If you don't have the book yet, you go to the link. So it's like just a 2-page summary that we do for you. And for me, my biggest takeaway from this book is this: when Viktor Frankl talked about this, we find meaning by the attitude we take towards the unavoidable suffering. In life, we have a lot of life challenges sometimes, which is unavoidable. For example, if like any family members fall sick, it is unavoidable that we got to deal with it. This, like illness or anybody you love who pass away, you cannot avoid. This is part of your life. So, but we can find the meaning in it by how we respond to the situation. This is something that biggest takeaway I learned. At least this is one thing that I learned directly from the book so hard, that, you know, in the gap between what happened, the unavoidable suffering, and also one is the how would say, the situation, and also the feeling that we have the gap, we can choose how we respond to it. That is because there's one sentence by Viktor Frankl talking about when we are no longer able to change the situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. It's how we respond. You can choose, you always have the power to choose who you want to become, how you respond, how you show up as your best self. This is what the biggest message that I learned from Viktor Frankl from this book. So I really hope that you can always go back to the book, or at least go to the PDF summary that we prepare for you for free. Go to the link and download it. All right. So Gideon, you have anything to share before we off today's session?
I really hope that everyone get the book, because it's really just I think 150 pages book. It's quite a small book, but it is very meaningful, and I hope you get a lot of value from this session.
Yes, I'll go and get a book, because I would say it's a mastery. All right, if you want to live the life that you want. Okay, so and going to see you all again next week, which is Saturday, 9 a.m. 9 a.m. 10, 11 a.m.
11
11 a.m. 11 a.m. Okay, see you and
See
have
you.
a great day. Bye-bye.
Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.